All right, everybody, this will be a warning to politicians. I'm running for president 2024, part 3, I believe. Anyway, I was watching some more of the bad reports coming in. Sorry about the bugs on the window there. It was clean earlier. But anyhow, still some of the violence going on. They're looking for them guys that shot Officer Dorn, retired Officer Dorn, up there in St. Louis. And hopefully with the video they have on them all, they'll be able to get them. But also looked at some things from like a year ago, a couple of years ago, several years ago. The African-American sheriff that went on CNN. I believe he was even from Minnesota. And, was treated so poorly by smug Don Lemon there and stuff when he was confronting him and asking him why these groups are out there pushing this violence against cops narrative and stuff, and Don Lemon kept ignoring him. And now we see years later what it's coming to. So when you see these cities and stuff, like I said way earlier there when this first started, that the mayor up there in Minneapolis was a political hack. He got booed out by the people he was supporting there because he wouldn't answer a question if he would defund the police. I believe it was the mayor of Minneapolis. Anyhow, excuse me. So all that talk about defunding police makes me want to ask, have they finished the colony set up on Mars yet? Because you're all crazy down here. Is that done up there? Can we start funneling the sane people up there and begin terraforming? I think Congress needs to act. I've seen some people from Congress on there talking about the states, they can do what they want or whatever, these cities, and no, Congress needs to act. You have an oath for the domestic tranquility. Federal government can step into states' business when it affects the whole nation. And when it's wrong for the citizens of that state, you can step in and say, we're going to make it illegal to defund police departments. You cannot do it. And if you try and do it, arrest those politicians. That's what you have to do. You cannot allow this madness to happen. And whether by presidential order or an act of Congress, somebody needs to freeze all this stuff of these people trying to defund and dismantle police departments. You've lost your minds. And you have to look. If you're African American, you have to ask yourself a serious question. Are you being played? Are you being played? These people have fostered and pushed this whole thing against cops. This whole all white people are racist. All white people hate the poor. They have pushed and pushed all this. They want to legalize marijuana. All these things. Allow these groups to go out there and teach people that it's okay to loot and to kill and all this stuff and everything. You have to wonder, and look where these incidents happen. These are in cities mostly run by African Americans. Police chiefs, mayors, city councils, stuff like this. You have to wonder, are they being played too, or are they just, what's going on? Are they wanting the African American community to look less American, less law-abiding? Are they wanting them to be, hooked on drugs? Are they wanting all this violence? Are they trying to set the African American community back in society? Are they fostering a race war? Are they fostering a civil war? I say there's got to be something else going on. Yes, there's racism in this country, and there's racist cops and there's bad cops. But we need to take care of that in a civil way. That's why our country is set up the way it is with laws and stuff and everything. Where were these people all year long? What were they doing in Minnesota? All these Democrats. They live there. They know their communities. They should have had a pulse of the community. Hey, there's something wrong here. We've got people who've got no regard for the police, and we have overworked, underpaid cops, and we've got complaints about some racist cops and stuff. They should have been taking care of all this stuff. You just have to wonder, because like I said, it's like, watching what happened there was so macabre and so strange. It was like Twilight Zone. And now you look and see what's going on now, and it's even more strange and macabre. So you have to wonder, is there some kind of grand scheme going on here to set the African American community back in the guise of, hey, we're moving forward? Defund the police departments? Make people kneel down and lay down in the streets in front of cameras and say they're sorry for having white privilege and stuff like this and everything? Are you serious? You think that's helping? Do you really think that's helping? And talking of defunding the police, do you see the gun sales? You would much rather have trained police officers who are going to be less apt. I'm telling you, you might think some of them are more quick to kill people than they should be. There's a lot of them that show an awful lot of restraint. They're trained. They are trained. The average citizen is not trained. The average citizen is not going to warn you 2, 3, 4, 5 times, whatever it is. You look at these people in our streets and what they're doing, and they're killing cops and stuff. These are the same criminals that steal the packages off your porches, that rob your convenience stores, that do home invasions, all this type of stuff. And they're being treated with kid gloves, and they want to defund police departments and stuff. And then what are they going to have? They're going to have their own type of police department. And what it's going to be then is going to be, they won't be going around taking care of crime. They'll be coming around putting the squeeze on you. And if you oppose their cause and stuff, it's going to be political police, just like you have in South America and stuff, in places where these dictators and they're not going to be there. They're not going to be worried about crime. You're already, in their eyes, you're already part of the problem. So someone's trying to break into your house or something, and you call for whoever they replace the police with. Suppose you shoot the person breaking into your house. Guess what's going to happen to you? You shouldn't have been rich and white, or you shouldn't have been middle income and white, or you shouldn't have been rich and black and a Republican. You're going away for shooting. You should have just let them come in and raped and killed your family and stole all your shit. You shouldn't have shot them. Do you understand that? What they're doing? They want to reinstall their own type of police force. Look at history, world history. Anywhere socialist communists have taken over, that is what they have done. They have said, the established society is the problem. We need to take it over by any means necessary. We need to replace their authority with our authority. Instead of police officers not caring what your color is or anything like that, and just enforcing the laws. If a black person calls and says, hey, I've been robbed, they go and they answer the call. If a white person calls and says, hey, I've been robbed, they go and answer the call. They go and look for the criminal, no matter what the criminal's color is. What they want to replace that type of police department is now is one that is going to be ultra biased. Super, super ultra biased. If you're a religious person, you need to pray. And whether you say God, Allah, Jehovah, Baha'u'llah, help restore common sense and sanity to this country. We can work out problems without this type of madness. We can work out problems without defunding the police department and then leaving the country to angry mobs and then people trying to defend themselves, having shootouts. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? These angry mobs and people defending themselves, having shootouts? Wouldn't you rather have a police force in between those groups? Some law and order? Or the National Guard? People who are going to listen to orders that they're given instead of just mob rules on both sides? We can't go down this road. We can't go down this road of a civil or a race war. We cannot go down this road. Everyone needs to go home and chill out, think about what's been going on. Try and take a look at the bigger picture. Who's telling you to go out and do what? Go home and chill out. Pray. We cannot all be the puppets of people with ulterior motives. You got to ask yourself if you're being played. If this country's being played. And I'm surprised to even see people in Washington, people in the military saying that the president was wrong, talking about putting troops. There's no reason to put troops on to combat our own people. I'm sorry. Your duty is to restore domestic tranquility. Your duty is to protect the civilian population of this nation. And if that means putting the army on the streets, then that's what you have to do. George Washington used the army right after the Revolutionary War to put down insurrection. So don't tell me, oh, there's no legal precedence for it and the president can't do it, because he can do it. I hope it doesn't come to that, but if these local governments and state governments don't get their act together and restore law and order and stop all these people who are espousing sedition and everything on social media and on TV networks and stuff and encouraging this stuff, there's laws you can bust them under too. But don't tell me, oh, the president's wrong for talking about putting the army. It is lawful. It is legal. It's been done. It can be done. He's not saying turn them loose, go out there and mow everybody down. He's saying go out there and be a presence and put an end to the violence. Don't act like he's saying, oh, we're going to come in there and you know, tear everything apart in your city and leave it in ashes like a foreign, you know, nation that's attacked us or something. He's just saying going in there and in enough force to make it impossible for these people to go around and kill innocent people and to burn and to loot. He's not saying go in there and shoot them all. And he does have the authority. Congress has the authority to authorize the use of the military. To stop the madness. He ain't saying we're going to go in there and shoot everybody. He's saying we're going to show force. We're going to show force. So that these people go home. They don't even think about coming out and trying to do anything because they're going to be so outnumbered that they're just going to give up and go home. They're not going to be able to kill anybody. They're not going to be able to loot. They're not going to be able to do any of that stuff. They're not going to be able to disrupt traffic on the interstates. They're not going to be able to do any of that stuff. They can go to a park, have a candlelight vigil, have their protest, whatever they want to do. But they're not going to go around threatening people. So, but I can't believe the voices. Well, you know, the idea of turning our military against our own people. He's not saying turn the military against your own people. Why do you see what I mean? You got to watch Spin Doctors and stuff. He's saying put them there to be a force. He's not saying turn them against your own people. To stop the violence. He's not saying stop protest. You can go protest peacefully. In a park, in front of town hall, wherever. You don't have a right to go and destroy other people's property while you're protesting or to kill them. That's not constitutionally protected. And the president can use the military to stop you from violating the rights of other people. Just got to pray. Stop the violence. Cooler, calmer minds. Reasonable minds. Being the ones that are heard. Actually working on problems that we have. Instead of coming up with these slogans and these chants and you know, all these things, and people saying to kill cops and things like that. You are not helping one bit at all. And why the black leadership puts up with it and doesn't come out and say, psh, that's got to stop. That's not helping anything. Forcefully come out and say it. I see them come out. I hear them talk about, you know, hey, you know, yeah, you're right, that's not right, and stuff like this. It's sort of the same condescending tone that you hear from the racists when they say, yeah, you're right, racism is wrong and stuff. It's the same, you know, same, yeah, well, we'll condemn it, but we could really care less. Same thing when you hear it coming from white people who are racist or asked about, you know, whether they support something or not, when at heart they could care less. But we can't go down this road of division and civil war or racial war. And we can't let our country be taken over by socialist communists. All nations should be united as a human race, but we don't all have to be the same. or adopt other cultures. Chinese can be Chinese, have their culture. We can be us and have our culture, which has already been established. Constitutional republic with legal processes and stuff. You know, we need to modernize the whole judicial system, everything like that. Focus on that kind of stuff, no doubt. Instead of them tying up Congress and arguing over things and trying to impeach the president and stuff. You know, look at all the time they wasted on that. Look at all the time they wasted on trying to get weapons bans. Look at all the time they wasted on all that stuff. When they could have been focusing on, you know, hey, we don't have enough judges, we don't have enough courtrooms, we don't have police being trained right, you know, this and that. Look at what they wasted time on instead of doing their jobs. Just really strange what you see in the media. Get rid of police departments and mayors and stuff who are catering to these people. And then if they don't cater to them, like that one there, he got booed out of the square or whatever where they were holding their meeting and stuff. Instead of him standing up and saying, you know, no, he wouldn't answer the question, so he should have just held his ground. So the hell no, that's not a good idea. But when your whole political career is based on pandering for votes and giving in and giving everything even though you know it's bad, well, you live and die by that then. Stick to your guns. Say, this is what I'm about. This is what I believe. Here it is. And if you're for that, you know, go ahead and vote for me. If you're not for that, if you don't like the United States the way it is, or whatever, you want to live in a socialist country, move to a socialist country. If you're coming here from another country and you don't like the way our system is and everything like that, don't try and take it over and we're going to change it socialist and all this. You're free to move anywhere in the world that there is a socialist type country, the type of government that you like. You are free to move. Do we have problems? Hell yeah, we got problems. We've always had problems. Every nation on the face of the earth has problems that they have to work through. But us being as culturally, look at here. Look how diverse this country is. China's not as diverse as we are. Russia's not as diverse. Countries in Africa are not as diverse as we are. Most countries in Europe are not as diverse as we are. Look how diverse we are. Mexico's not as diverse as we are. Countries in South America are not as diverse as we are. So we have problems. But we can work on them together. Do you ever think about that? Look at this country. You can come here from anywhere in the world and make a living, raise your family, be what you want to be the religion that you are, all these things, and you can be any color under the sun and come here. Now, other countries in the other parts of the world might not care what color you are and stuff, or your religion, or they might care about one or the other. But people aren't flocking to those countries. You don't have a diverse culture anywhere in the world like you do here in America. Anywhere. Do you understand that? How unique that is? We are like a grand experiment, so there's going to be problems. There's going to be problems. Have you ever thought about how diverse we are? Look around the world. There are very few countries that are as diverse as we are. Any religion, any race, from anywhere in the world can come here and walk the streets. Well, except for certain parts of some cities, you can relatively just walk the streets anywhere and not have anybody bother you. Do you know how unique that is in the world? To have that kind of security for people who come here from other parts of the world. Do you know how unique that is? For people from South America who get kidnapped, they're going to the store, oh, got kidnapped. Do you know how unique it is here to have the type of security you have and the type of freedom and to have such diversity between religion and race? Do you know how unique that is in the world? If something bad happens, you're ready to burn it all down. To set everything backwards. So, oh no, we got to be a socialist country. There's things wrong, and we got to be a socialist country. Wrong. You're wrong. That is not going to solve anything. Nothing. Zip, zilch, zero. Getting rid of the police departments will not solve anything. It'll make things worse. It will make things worse. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Wish you all the best out there. God bless. Be careful. Wish you all the best. Continue your spiritual journey, even though all this stuff's going on. Do your best. And we'll talk to you on the next one. Adios.